All right, here we go. So we're going to be talking about change in linear and exponential functions and how they correlate to arithmetic and geometric sequences, okay? So starting off with, we're going to be generating a linear function from an arithmetic sequence, meaning that we're going to find the pattern and then find the linear equation that models that represents that pattern. Make sense? Sounds pretty straightforward. So before I started recording, I told you guys that this is kind of like mixing sequences with regression models, right? We're bringing it all together and tying it together. Regression is what a huge part of Unit 1 was about, right? From Unit 1A to Unit 1C, it was a lot of regression. Can I create a model, a function model? All right, so starting off here, we have a table, and on the table, it tells us that we have 0. These are our n. So these are the terms that we're on, like the nth term. So term 0, term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, term 6. Got it? All right. We know that our first term is -5. Okay? Because we know that our first term is -5, it wants us to create a pattern to represent this. Well, we also can know the rest of them because what did they provide us? A graph. Do we all see our graph? So we're going to use our, of course, my pen decides to stop working. Why not? Oh, embarrassing. Get it together, pen. Get it together. There we go. So we're going to use our graph to fill in the rest of our values. So we cannot see 0, but we do know 1 is -5, right? What is 2? -3. What is 3? -1. What is 4? What is 5? What is 6? Okay, now that I see those, even though I do not see 0, can I start finding my difference and state my a sub 0? Okay, what is my difference? +2. Each time we're adding 2 to get from one to the other, right? So we have a +2. And because of that, what would be my a sub 0? It'll be -5 minus 2, which is -7. So we know that this is -7. So my arithmetic model would be a sub n equals, and we can start from 0. We can start, and we're going to start from what was given to us, our given information. So -5 plus 2 times n minus 1. Correct? That is our arithmetic model, our explicit rule that's taking place. Are we comfortable with that? Because that's what we just kind of quizzed over, right? Now, guys, this is the easy part. To go from arithmetic to linear, all you're doing is distributing and combining like terms. So to go from arithmetic to linear, all we're doing is 2 things. We distribute and then combine like terms. Because the goal is to be in the form of f of n equals, quote unquote, I'm just going to use m because that's what it is, m n plus b. And what does m represent in a linear equation? What does m represent in a linear equation? You hear that sound? Your slope. Your m represents your slope. What does your b represent in a linear equation? Y-intercept, your initial value, right? That's all you're doing here. So I'm going to write my f of n. So f of n equals, and again, we distribute and combine like terms. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute. So we have -5 plus 2n minus 2. The second thing we're going to do is what? Combine like terms. So therefore, f of n equals 2n minus 7. So automatically to get here, all I need to know is my m, which is now technically my d, and my b, which is technically my a sub 0. Do we see the correlation, connection? Mix that word together. No, that was our goal, is now be able to see the connection, see the pattern, and do as least amount of work that we have to, right? The quiz was part B. Yeah, quiz was part B. Yeah, your quiz was over part B. That's why I said we've already did this, and 2A.1, we did B, right? We should be all good and golden on that. What 2A.2 is introducing is, okay, if you can do an arithmetic sequence, you can also translate it over to a linear function model. You will not be getting full credit because that's not what it was over. Especially when your teacher went over the quiz before you and had models on the board of what would the outcome supposed to be while you were quizzing. So, yeah. All right. How do we feel? Easy peasy, doable? Yes. Okay. All right. We're good. Okay. Now, what if here we are given an arithmetic sequence, but we're only given our A sub 1 and our A sub 8? How am I going to find what took place in between? Okay. It's going to be your rate of change. Does that make sense? Because it's, what did we say our M is? It's our D is basically our slope, right? Your D is basically your slope. And so to find it, if I'm given 2 points to find the D, all I'm doing is calculating the rate of change, the average rate of change, which is for a linear slope, right? All it is different words, but I promise you, you have the math skills to do it, okay? All right, so to find our D here, we're going to do, so your D equals, we're going to do I'm going to have to write it out correctly for notes, but obviously as you get better, you do not have to write as much as we're writing in the notes. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have N sub 8 minus N sub 1. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote N. It's supposed to be an A, and no one's stopping me. Y'all are just letting me make a fool of myself. A, A, over, and then the N's are in the bottom. So our N in this case would be A minus 1. That's exactly what Aaron said. All right, so we have negative 39 minus 17 over 8 minus 1 is? Oh my God, it's clicking. It's clickety clickety. All right, what's negative 39 minus 17?
50, negative 58.
And negative 56 divided by 8 is what? 7. I said the answer. I don't know. Negative 8. So our D equals negative 8. Yes. Now that I know the value of my D, can I fill in the rest of the table? Yes. Oh my gosh. What's 17 minus 8? Oh, just that's not 11. 9. Why am I listening to you alone? It's like, that is not 11. I was like, man, that did not sound right. 9 minus 8. 1. 1 minus 8. Negative 7 minus 8. Negative 15 minus 8.
Negative 23.
Negative 23 minus 8.
Negative 31.
And negative 31 minus 8. Does it lead us to negative 39? So that means we are geniuses and we did it correct. Yes?
Always.
How do we feel? Yes. Right.
For the unit that we do the D equals A of 8 minus A of 1, or could we just go straight to the negative?
Yes, I said that before I wrote it. I said for the sake of our notes, I'm going to write out what I'm doing so that you can see where it came from. Okay. But no, the goal is eventually, because you already have these skills. So I'm not expecting you to write the formulas every single time, just making sure you make the connection to each other. Okay. All right. So Now that I have all of this, can I write a model? What would be my A sub n? What is my arithmetic sequence? A sub n equals, we can start at 1. If we start at 1, what do we have to make sure we include? -1. So if we start at 1, what do we have? 17 n minus 1. So that's my A sub n model, correct? Okay. What would be my linear model? -8n plus what? There we go. Still with me? Okay. So this wanted to know the specific domain and range for the given table. Unless it asks for the function, when you're asking for the domain and range of an arithmetic sequence, you only base it off of the table that you have. Does that make sense? 17 plus 8? 25? I was like, wait, 17 plus 8 is 25. Let's try that again. I knew that. We were struggling together. I gotta be okay with correcting y'all because y'all definitely don't have a problem correcting me. Yeah, 17 plus 8 is 25. Correct? Yeah. 17 plus 8 is 25. Also, I was supposed to write it in number 3. Ignore that I wrote it in this box. All right, so really quick, again, your domain and your range, when it's asking for the domain and range of a geometric sequence, look, if you're going to talk, can y'all see the middle table? Like, it's up to y'all. I just can't have it right here. So you're only basing it off what's in your table, okay? If it's asking, so if you notice here, it specifically says, what is the domain and range of the sequence, not of the function of the sequence. So your domain is just literally listing out these values. That would be your domain. Make sense? And all you're doing is listing those values out. No, it literally want you to list out as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, because it's asking for just a sequence. Okay. Same thing for the range. If it's asking for the range, all you're doing is listing out the range in order. Whether it's increasing or decreasing, just as long as it's in some type of numerical order. Okay. So functions can have the infinite, right? But when you're stating this, it's not. Okay. I got overexcited and wrote these parts in the wrong part. So we were supposed to have written A sub n equals 17 minus 8 n minus 1 here. And therefore, f of n equals -8n plus 25. That's what they were supposed to go. Okay. If you're like me and you don't like leading with the negative, you can also write it as f of n equals 25 minus 8n. Because I don't like leading with the negative if I don't have to. Okay. Those are the same, right? Huh? If I move the negative, right? Oh. It's less confusing to me if I move it around. All right, how do we feel? Good? Doable? It all goes together. Oh my gosh, math is connected. You don't say. All right, so the explicit formula denotes the nth term of the sequence, where n tells the term's location. So that's when we're writing our sequence. It defines the sequence as a formula in terms of n. Okay. It may be written in either subscript notation, a sub n, or in function notation, f of n. So they can be vice versa, and we have to be comfortable reading both. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So if I have here number of term number is term 1. So I'm on there, and the value is 32. then the subscript is A sub 1, F of 1. This is our summarizing what we've learned. Is that cool? All right. So then keep going with the pattern. Now, to make sure we're good, 2 would be what? What is the value of 2? 27. And we would write this as our A sub 2 or F of 2. Correct? All right. 3. What is the value of 3? Look at 22. So A sub 3 equals 22, or F of 3 equals 22. Okay, what about 4? 17. So A sub 4 equals 17. F of 4 equals 17. What about 5? 12. So A sub 5 equals 12, or F of 5 equals 12. And 6. 7. A sub 6 equals 7, or F of 6 equals 7. Okay? And these rules apply to any nth term and to any value of n. Yes? So from here, without doing any extra, can we write a model? What would be our subscript notation, meaning our explicit model, our A sub n? So what would be my A sub n model for this? $32 minus 5. Perfect. Good job, Aaron. So where did I start? And how am I going from 1 to the next? Minus 5. We see that? Okay. So what would be the function notation is? What would be my f of n? Plus 37. And again, if you're Miss Jones and you don't like the negative leading, you can also write it as 37 minus 5n. No, my pen erased. I pressed the button. Trying to catch me slipping? No, it was the pen. Okay. Do we see the full connection? Yes. Perfect. All right. So here it says, given the explicit formula of the sequence f of n equals n minus 3 times n minus 4, please write the first 10 terms. Go. What are the first 10 terms? At your group, come up with, huh? No, we always start at 1.
Question to know. From example 4 is was 6 and 7.
On example 4, 6 was 7. Yeah.
We start at 199.
Start at A1. I was writing it just now. All right. What are my first 10 terms? You little dancing. Good job. Let me know if you need me. I am paid to assist. Oh. What's up?
So this. So for this one, so like this.
Yeah, so you're doing it from 1 through 10. But you got to pay attention to what each part means. So I'm given 9 and I'm given 4. That means that they're giving me my A of 9. So your A4 is 9. So what would be A1, A2, A3 to get to A? So you don't have.
We're doing this as groups?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just we doing it as a group.
Oh, and,
Yeah.
then look, you're supposed to put one right. She's saying start from one and end, so you go 1 minus 4 equals 3, or -3 in this case. That. What is that? What else?
They didn't give you.
So
This isn't your A sub 1. This is your A sub 4. Remember? This isn't N minus 1, it's N minus 4. So that means that this is your.
that's the fourth.
That's the fourth
That's the
term.
fourth term.
Yeah.
Oh,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, gotta go the other way a little bit. So you need to start at A1. So you don't have your A1, you need to get to the A and then go. Okay, so I just want to clarify. Let's look at our equation, guys. So notice here, this is in the format of n minus 3 times n minus 4. So this means that I am not starting at A sub 1. This is giving me my A sub 4 equals 9. Because my K is not 1, my K is 4. Do we see that? So I do not know A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3, but I do know A sub 4 is 9. And I need to find 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Does that make sense? Okay. Then the next thing it tells me is my D value. What is my D value? What is my difference? Equals -3. Okay. Yes?
Yeah.
So all I need to know is reading what I have. Where am I starting? What do I have? What information do I know? And then I move from there. So if I'm going to the right, I'm going to be subtracting 3. But if I'm going to the left, what am I doing? I'm going to add 3. So moving to this direction, I'm going to have to subtract. But moving this direction, I'm going to have to add 3. Are y'all with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So 9 plus 3 puts me at 12 plus 3 puts me at 15 plus 3 puts me at 18. Now going the other way. 9 minus 3 is 6 minus 3 is 3 minus 3 is 0 minus 3 is -3 minus -6 minus -9. And those are your 10 values you should have. Okay. Do we see the little difference here?
Yeah.
Okay. If you made an error, did you start off as A1 as 9? Was that the error? Okay. That add-on matters. What that value of that constant with the n matters. Okay. All right. Can we easily find our 200th term? Yeah. So if we're looking for f of 200, that's going to be 9 minus 3 times 200 minus 4. So we get 9 minus 3 times 196. And at that point, I would just plug it in. What do we get? What is 9 minus 3 times 196? -579. Okay. Can I write this in the slope-intercept form? Yeah. What are our steps to write it in the slope-intercept form? 2 steps. Distribute and combine. So I'm going to distribute the 3 and then combine. So we have f of n equals 9 minus 3n plus 12. And that gives me f of n equals.
Yeah.
Okay. The other little way of writing this in slope-intercept form is simply remember that f of n is going to equal your difference times your n plus your a sub 0, right?
So what I still get it right if I just said 21 minus.
Yes, because that's how I prefer to write it as well.
Yeah.
I prefer it this way too. Whenever it's a negative, you're not alone. Okay, but do we caught on to this? That it's our difference times our n term plus our a sub 0? Because if I was to add 3 onto 18, what would my a sub 0 be? 21. Woo! How we feeling? We're feeling good? Decent? Okay, I'll take it. All right, now, why does this come into play? Real world time application. Okay. All right. So Elizabeth waters her vegetable garden. Using water she collects in a 55-gallon rain barrel. Someone else take over.
And on May 8th, the bear contained 47 gallons.
All right. Write the first 6 terms of the sequence. So in order to write our terms, we're going to have to establish what's our a sub 0, what's our change, what's happening here, right? So we're going to let a sub 0, because that's when she first started. This is going to be our a0. Does that make sense? So May 3rd is our a0. So therefore, if we have the value for May 8th is going to be our what? Guys, what's 8 minus 5? May 8 minus 3? 5. It's going to be our A5. It's going to be our A5. Okay? It's okay. It happens to the best of us. All right? And so, writing the pattern. Then we're going to establish what is our difference. Like, how are we going to find that?
47.
How do we find our D?
5 and 47.
It's just going to be, what's that? What are we finding essentially when we're finding the D? The slope. So our D is going to equal our 47 minus our 55 over how many days?
5 minus 47 or 47?
47 minus 55 and over how many days? 5 days. What do we get when we find our D? Anyone with a calculator? What's the D?
It's 8 over 5 equals 1.6.
Negative 1. There we go. It's going to be a negative 1.6. So now can I write out my first 6 terms of my sequence? Yes, I can. So we started off with what? 55. You have $55 and you spend $1.60. What are you left with? 53.4. You spend another $1.60. What are you left with? 51.8. Spend another $1.60. Another $1.60. Huh? Because it's our difference is negative 1.6. And for some reason, when I use money, people subtract faster. So that's why I'm using money. 48.6 and then 47. How we doing? Pretty good. All right, we're going to write our explicit rule. So our A sub n. What is our explicit rule?
Our explicit rule would be like
55. Just because that's our sub 0, right? And because we're already at sub 0, our f of n is just simply that. Okay. Explain when the barrel will be empty, assume there's no rain in the next 10-day period. How How would I calculate when the barrel will be empty?
You would just plug it
I'm not plugging it. What am I plugging in? Nope. You make f of n equal 0. You're asking yourself, when does f of n equal 0? Because that's what you want left, right? So when will f of n equal 0? Well, f of n equals negative 1.6n plus 55. And we're going to subtract 55n, divide. So we end up with n equals negative 55 divided by negative 1.6. So n equals what?
34. Oh, wait.
375. So it's going to take 34.375. So what day will it be empty? It'll be on day 35. It will be completely empty because on 34, it's not. I forgot the word day. It will be empty. Yes? How we feel? Does that make sense? Okay, so when we come in on Tuesday, you're going to have number 7 up as your due now for you to work and finish. Got it? So if you want to finish it before Tuesday, you can. But example number 7 is what your due now is going to be for Tuesday. All right. Yay, we finished, guys. Woo! All right, do your assignment. I love it.
Here you go.